Okay. That's pretty fast. Hello everyone and welcome to the Mercedes AMG GLS 63 big honking SUV. My name is Jimmy and you're joining me from 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. Or at least that's what Car and Driver is able to test it at. 3.6 seconds. Thanks to a twin-turbo 4-liter V8 under the hood, this almost 6,000-pound SUV, 3.6 seconds. That's absolutely insane. And continuing with this insanity is that exhaust note. This is a very, very quick SUV. Under the hood, that powertrain is absolutely phenomenal. It's the same engine, technically really, as the E63s that we had last week, except this has a little bit more technology in it. It has a mild hybrid system. That mild hybrid system is able to give this vehicle a little bit more of a boost just before that turbo kicks in, and you definitely do feel it. When you give it a little bit of throttle, the vehicle, it actually goes and it hustles relatively quickly. But before I get to any of that, I want to talk about the looks first, because when you're buying an expensive SUV, yes, you want it to go fast, but you also want it to look good. And I think for the GLS, it actually looks pretty good. I think they did a really good job with this vehicle. The overall look on the front end, it's very distinctive Mercedes. There's nothing that's out there that looks anything similar. Large Mercedes grille in the front, beautiful LED headlights off to the side, and an AMG lower grille. It's distinctively AMG up here. On the side, we got large 23-inch monoblock wheels. Personally, I'm not a big fan of them because, well, they just hide those massive brake calipers in the back. I kind of like that multi-spoke wheel that you can also get, but your choice may vary. If you like these, let me know in the comment section down below. It is a pretty typical box-on-box design. There's nothing really too much about the styling, but in the back, I do love the GLS taillights. They just look really, really good. And of course, the rifled quad exhaust tips on the bottom, just to let you know it is a true AMG. And if you look underneath, they're not actually linked together with the exhaust pipe, but you know, that's pretty typical these days. Overall, I think, you know, the GLS, especially in this one that we have here with the AMG Night package, it's just menacing. It's a big, dark SUV. There's still some chrome pieces here and there, but overall, it's a very dark looking vehicle, and I personally really like that. Let's take a look inside, starting with the trunk here. We have 17.4 cubic feet behind the third row. If you fold those down with a button on the side here, it goes to 42.7 behind the second row, and you can fold those down as well for 84.7 cubic feet total. And all these are electronically fold down as well as up. Love that about it. Just makes it very easy for you to get things in as well as out of the vehicle. Speaking of getting things in and out of the vehicle, I do like how you're able to put the tonneau cover just underneath the floor. There's a little bit of space for it. Really smart piece of engineering here, because a lot of vehicles, if you need to put that tonneau cover away, you literally got to throw it away. Like, you can't have it in the car. At least this, you can keep it inside the car with you at all times. Definitely a great touch. Let's move inside the cabin, starting with the third row. Getting into the third row, not hard, but it's time consuming because the second row seats are electronically controlled. You press a button on the second row and it kind of whirls up and out of the way, but it just takes so long. Once you're into the third row though, it's super comfortable. There's plenty of headroom. Legroom is plentiful as long as you're able to sacrifice a little bit of that second row legroom. Really, for adults, no problem back here. But if you're getting in or out, I personally would suggest just wedging between the second row seats, as this is the captain chair version. It makes it a whole lot easier to get in and out of the vehicle. Moving up to the second row, it's actually very comfortable here. You can move the seats electronically with the buttons on the side. That's also where you find the heated seat buttons. So you can really adjust it to your heart's desire. There's a very big panoramic sunroof on top, allowing plenty of light into the first and second row. But when you don't want the light, you can cover it up, and there's baby shades on the sides to really just to darken out the interior. Speaking of baby shades, if you're interested, I do have a separate video with the Kleckling and the Kleck 5 fitting inside this vehicle. The Kleckling is an infant seat and the Kleck 5 is a rearward facing convertible that I have in. While they were able to fit in the second row, I wasn't able to put them into the third row. There just isn't enough space back there. While there are lower anchors in the second as well as the third row, it's just best for boosters. It just doesn't fit any of these larger seats in here. So if you are looking to fit more kids, a van may be a better option, or a Sprinter van. I guess it's still a van. Anyways, moving up to the front seats, this is where you want to be. This is a very comfortable experience up here. Of course, the seats are heated, they're cooled, they have massaging features, and they have extendable bolsters on the side to really keep you nice and comfortable within the vehicle. The heating surfaces is not just the seat itself, it's also the armrest on the side as well as in the middle to keep you nice and warm in the wintertime. Of course, you got a heated steering wheel as well. Steering wheel is nice. It's a pretty typical AMG layout. You got your buttons to control the infotainment as well as the cluster right here. It's a little bit better than the E63s that I was driving last week, as that two-tier thing, it just doesn't work for me. I actually like this a little bit more. You got paddles in the back to control the 9-speed auto, and a very nice cluster behind it. As with many Mercedes, infinitely adjustable cluster here. You can really have it any style that you want. I currently have it in the Super Sport, which is my personal favorite. And that's the same with the heads-up display as well. There's so many different configurations there. You can have like your speed, attack, you can expand it to the entire thing. It's a very, very large heads-up display. But the largest display, of course, is your infotainment and your cluster. It's a good system. There's nothing wrong with the MBUX system, but there's just so many menus in here. To help you navigate around, you can use the touchscreen, you can use the touchpad on the steering wheel, or you can use the touchpad down here, which is probably my least favorite type of input. But of course, you can say, "Hey Mercedes,
how can I help?
Activate my massaging seats."
I'm sorry, can you say that again, please?
Activate my massaging seats.
I'm sorry, but I can't help you with...
It tries, okay? It works. I mean, if you watch an E63 video, it worked the second time. This, one more. "Hey Mercedes,
how may I help you?
Activate my massaging seats."
I'm sorry, can you say that again, please?
Nope, I can't. Okay, that was working before, but now it's not. I mean, you can use a touchscreen, but there's just so many different menus in there. It's a little hard. And there's also gesture control, but you got to set it up and it doesn't always work the way you want it to. If you're doing this in front of your screen, you're better off actually using the screen. What's nice is Mercedes does have a dedicated row of climate control right below, so you're able to control that without diving into a screen. That I really like, and you also have some vehicle options down below. So everything you need really is at a fingertip, but there are more things that you can dive into, which unfortunately is not so much at your fingertips. But that's all I got to say about the interior. Let's go for a drive, because it's a GLS 63 AMG. It's designed to be a driver's car, not to be a car sitting in a parking lot. So let's get out there and see what it's like. On the road with the GLS 63 AMG, and there's, well, like many AMG products, there's two ways you can drive the vehicle. You can drive it normally in the comfort mode, and it feels like a normal car. It feels like a regular GLS SUV. It's superbly comfortable. The suspension is really soft, maybe a little too soft, but it's a good experience. It's just comfortable. It wafts you around as you take these corners, and there's a bit of body roll. But whenever you need a little bit more, put it into Sport or Sport Plus, and then you can give it a little bit of throttle. And then it wakes up. It's a completely different machine when you give it a little bit more power. Back to comfort mode though. Because chances is, if you're buying a GLS, you're not going to be in Sport Plus. Maybe Sport, maybe just to have a little bit of that balance, but not Sport Plus. It's not a vehicle designed for it. There's not a race mode in this, like the E63s that we got last week. But Sport Plus just doesn't fit the bill. Because with 603 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque, you would think that this massive 6,000 pound SUV is going to be carving mountains and shredding all the roads that it can. It's not really an X5M. It's not. It's designed to be a very comfortable SUV that just happens to be really, really fast. That's why like the GLS, maybe the one step down, the 580, that makes a little bit more sense. This is just a very comfortable vehicle for you to take you and your family out for a nice drive. Cross country, no problem. Autobahn, it'll keep up with the fastest vehicles. I mean, this out accelerates a Charger Hellcat. A Charger Hellcat, that's insane. But of course, you know, it is a family SUV. So how does it actually work on the road and on the highway? Well, with the cruise control, it actually works really well. When it's on the highway, when you're using the radar guided cruise control and the lane keep, it does really well at keeping you on the lane. This is the exact piece of road that the E63 couldn't detect the lane last week, but this does. It's weird, but it drives so well. You have the cruise control set and it just follows the vehicle in front. It keeps you within your lane. You're in a stress-free environment, which just means when you get to your destination, it's just a more pleasant place. You're less stressed, you're less fatigued. It means you have a better time with your family at whatever destination. All right, let me pull over here and just summarize everything up. The GLS 63 AMG. This is an odd one because it's not an SUV for your everyday person because, I mean, your everyday Joe probably can't afford this. I know I can't. It's a very expensive vehicle because the base price is just shy of 161,000 Canadian. As tested, $167,000. That's a whole lot of money, but it's a whole lot of car, right? Or truck, depending on how you want to think about it. You get an AMG engine, you get AMG suspension, you get 3 rows of seating, comfortable enough for 6 passengers, 7 if you opt for the bench in the middle. What's not to love? Maybe the price. Oh, and fuel economy, because I'm averaging, in the past 180 kilometers, I'm averaging 20 liters for 100 kilometers. That's a lot. That's definitely a lot. But you kind of expect it, don't you? In any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, if you like this car, give it a like on the bottom. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.